Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is Tumba, joined by none other than MLG Wiggin.
Hello, everyone.
Wiggin, of course, Gosu Ref for MLG, slash caster, slash Mohawk rocker.
Do I count as a caster yet, or am I a caster after this?
No, I think you already count, for sure. You did some work with Galen and stuff, so.
I suppose that counts.
Yeah, for sure. If other people call them casters, Wiggin, I'm certainly you qualify. But, so here's the thing. Full disclosure. You'll be seeing this on YouTube in your respective time zones. However, this is done at about 3:30 in the morning because our buddy Duckville sent this game. He's really excited about it. He's tweeting about it. So like, yeah, we'll cast it. Let's check it out. So we'll get into player introductions. We can't read Korean, so this will be a different Protoss player, a different professional Protoss player. So let's kick it off with, let's call this Liquid Hero. Of course, it's not Liquid Hero. So
we should have kept up the illusion.
Yeah,
see how long it takes people to catch on.
You know how the interwebs are. There'll be all kind of complaints about that. So unless you ruin the plan off start. So Liquid Hero down here in the southwest. Northeast, we got our buddy Duckville spawning as the blue Protoss. His name will remain Duckville throughout the rest of this cast. So Wiggin, Duckville pretty excited about this game, actually.
He is excited, and if I know anything about Duckville, this is going to somehow involve DTs. That is Duckville's thing.
Oh, boy. Well, those are just a little bit gimmickish.
You might call them that.
So, of course, long weekend. Both of us in Columbus for MLG. That was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. Always a thrill to get to go to one of those MLGs.
Yes, sir. Wiggin, my senior at MLG, as he's gotten many more. I only started going for Orlando last year. Was when the beta program started. So, yeah. It doesn't get old, does it, Wiggin? Each event is its own kind of fun, I think.
Absolutely. Best job I have ever had.
No doubt. So, really, talking about the game a little bit, we're not seeing anything out of the ordinary. I'm checking in, of course, now with Genius down here in the southwest.
Yeah, we got double gas from both players at pretty normal timings. Nothing too out of the ordinary yet. PvP normally sort of a one-base matchup, so
especially on this map.
Absolutely, yeah. No real ability to hold any kind of expansion with that wide choke. I'm kind of surprised to not just see 4 gates immediately going down on this map, but
well, we know it's going to be something different, and Duck asked us not to watch it first, so we have to start to see when things deviate. This, of course, is played on Korean ladder. So Duckville in Australia.
Well,
playing.
We have an immediate deviation already. Down here in Duckville's base, the bottom, we got ourselves a Stargate.
Okay. Yeah, this Stargate play typically doesn't come until much, much later, and it's sort of a, oh god, I hope you don't scout it build.
There are some pretty safe standard Phoenix plays you can do, so it'll be interesting to see if Duckville tries to pull one of these off.
Yeah, definitely. Axlav actually really doing a lot in terms of North American players last year to go ahead and spearhead the whole Phoenix PvP movement. He was probably the one that committed to it the most back when he was with EG before he moved over to Infinity 7.
And Axlav, one of those smart players. If he's doing something like that, you know it's pretty good.
I think the main problem with the Wig is the fact that if you go down to, say, Harass, as we see actually 3-gate Robo, down here in OGSMC's base. Of course, I'm going to save SKMC. I know he plays for SK now, but I'm going to save that for later as we're going to run out of Protoss names to call this Korean gentleman down here. Anyway, OGSMC's base, you can see 3 gates and a Robo. But one of the problems with the build, though, Wiggin, with the Phoenix build, in PvP particularly, is if you use them to go ahead and harass it all, you're out of energy, and I think that a lot of people recognize that and will just counterattack you. So when you go back, you've got that investment in these Phoenix, but they don't have enough energy to work for yourself defensively post-harass. And that seems to be the biggest problem with those builds. So I'm interested to see how Duckville's going to make this work.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing you can run into as an issue is Blink Stalkers on one base have become just an absolutely common thing you see in PvP, and those tend to deal with these Phoenix builds pretty well.
Yes, they definitely do. I'll take all of the Stalkers, please. So you can see right now SKMC's probe, or SKMC's observer getting into the main, seeing everything Duckville's got to offer here. Did it see Stargate? It did not.
No, but he shouldn't be surprised by these these Phoenixes are about to run in. Moving down towards his natural. Nope, they're just going to sit there for a second. I like the decision by Duckville, by the way, here. He scouted that expansion from Startail parting and immediately threw down one of his own. It's a pretty good decision.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Again, have to mention Grubby, of course, of the mindset. Initially, expanding was something you did only when you were in trouble. And typically you would lose the game after expanding. Now it's sort of first to expand has a good advantage in PvP. Duckville wanting to place some cannons down here.
Sort of a interesting decision to defend that with some cannons. Kind of a forge expand, I guess you could call it.
So he's incorporating all different types of build here into one. So, you know, not being overly active on the map with Phoenix, which is sort of their strength. They're fast. You can scout and keep tabs, but he's got them at home. He's really in a defensive posture right now. Does pick off that observer.
Oh, very nice. He does have 6 worker kills, so he's sort of even the worker count out a little bit.
Oh, double robo down here for parting.
That's a interesting decision. I think I would much prefer to see a Twilight go down, do some blink work, but I guess you could attempt to go double robo against Phoenix play. Maybe just try to run him over with Immortals or something like that.
Yeah, this is, of course, Korean ladder, so you know we can see anything here.
Yeah. Obviously, he knows something I don't.
Yeah. And Phoenix is going to get in and start lifting these probes again, so really committing to this Phoenix play and going to bounce into the main. The hardest part of casting this is making up Protoss players' names on the fly, not pre-planned. You were right, Wiggin.
Yeah. This is oh god, what's his name now? Who's just playing in Team League? This is MVP Finale.
Okay, there we go.
Now attempting to defend the Phoenix harass. I did like his decision to stop at 6 Phoenixes, but now he's gone and started building some more. 6 Phoenix is just one of those really good numbers because you can just basically infinitely pick up workers and keep harassing.
Gosh, deciding to add a second Stargate now.
that is a ballsy move.
It definitely is. So as you say that, like, yeah, 6 is good. Well, evidently Duckville Wiggin feels like 6 is good, but another starport plus 1 more would be better. So there you go. So you can see San Zenith has his observer in the main of Duckville again.
Yeah, 6 Phoenixes is good. 12 Phoenixes might be twice as good.
I really think
that's the strategy we're going for.
Yeah,
here.
I guess I really think our Korean player here, facing off against Duckville, is just he's confused at this point. He sees that second Stargate and he's going, okay, what?
Well, one thing about the Korean player is very mechanical. You know, maybe this is how you beat them. You just throw a completely ridiculous build in.
That has been said. Like earlier in 2011, they're like, you know, Cats could actually play hell with a lot of the Koreans because a lot of his builds get a little funky, proxy hatcheries and such. They're not used to dealing with stuff like that. That was mentioned during an NASL cast, I remember, way early. But you know, Colossus on the field here, Wiggin, and I think we're up to 8 Phoenix in that grouping.
Yeah, these Phoenixes are actually going to help a lot against the Colossus because that Stalker count by SKMC is a little bit low. In fact, at this point, Duckville could actually be picking up these stalkers and picking it off. That might be a really good decision there.
Yeah,
knocking those numbers down.
They're starting to feel like mutas to me, and I don't know why. Just following them around. So, yeah, you can see Slayer's Alicia right now just massing up these stalkers at home, keeping them there rather for defense.
And Puzzle a little bit ahead in supply, so he might be able to hit one of these. Well, it's a little bit late to call it a timing, but he might be able to just go with 3 or 4 Colossi on 2 base and really be pretty tough to stop here by Duckville.
Typically that is the case, of course. Those naked Colossi out there, though, only have 1 Immortal to protect them, so it's a fairly decent unit spread. However, that concerns me a little bit because I hate to see Colossus by themselves. It's just one of those things where it doesn't feel safe at all, because it isn't. And I should mention, we saw a fleet beacon and the anion pulse crystals, which, of course, for those of you that don't know, is the Phoenix upgrade. So Duckville is actually the first game I'm going to cast where he actually uses this. Again, guys, cut us some slack on the cast here because it's 3 a.m. So keep everything in perspective, because Wiggin and I just are tired. I, of course, was casting One Nation of Gamers all day and evening. Just phenomenal. I think we're just back from MLG. It's been, what, almost a week now? It is a week now, isn't it, Wig? It's over a week, so just back.
It's just 1 week for me, yeah.
Right, so just back isn't exactly true, but for us it feels like it. That's a lot of Phoenix. How many is that as the third goes up here for parting?
That is actually 16 Phoenixes,
16.
which is kind of a ridiculous number.
He has all of the Phoenixes in this matchup. And
he could pick up almost every one of those stalkers if it came down to a fight. Did he leave any behind? No, he didn't leave any behind.
You know, you mentioned timing, and I think that's part of the issue here is the fact that our Korean player, who we keep changing his name, well, first of all, those extended thermal lamps just did work on those cannons like nobody's business. Will snipe the Colossus, though, so that range helping out. Also,
yeah, wow, look at that.
And the armor going to help out as well on those. So those Colossus going to fall so quick, and not even lifting the stalkers yet. There they go. Wiggin, you called it. Just lifting everything. He'll lift all of the things here.
Yeah, Phoenixes are one of those units where if you just get enough of them, you can kind of beat anything. You can even beat Hydralisks with them.
Oh yeah, they actually do a bonus to Hydras because they're light. And, you know, I love trying to get Zerg to use Hydra a lot because some are not very comfortable with that unit, especially being as slow as they are off creep. And Colossus will just tear them up. So, in a little bit of gamesmanship, go early Phoenix, try to get them to commit to Hydra, shoo them away from Muta a little bit. Out of here, Mutalisk. I don't like you.
Yeah, they're definitely one of those units that can really snowball out of control. Like once you have a lead with Phoenixes, you can really punish a player. Just keep picking up everything. I really like to see Duckville double expanding here. He definitely needs to make up on that macro a little bit because whatever random Protoss name has had that third base up for quite a while. He lost a lot of Phoenixes there going.
He did. He just said, I'm not going to give any of, you know, I'm not going to have a care in the world against those cannons, if you will.
That is exactly what he said, sir.
And
now, you know what I would really like to see out of Duckville, actually, is a Mothership. He's had this fleet beacon for a little while, and Mothership is a surprisingly effective unit in PvP.
Well, you know what? At this point, he's so far away from standard that it actually wouldn't surprise me at all, which is good. I mean, this is good innovation. Of course, this is Gold League Korean ladder, which is probably equates to very, very high diamond, if not low masters, I would say. NA? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. I've seen some weirder things in the high diamond, low masters, I suppose.
No, just really referencing in terms of skill. Like, I would think that a gold player on Korean ladder would kind of equate to a diamond slash maybe low masters on NA, just in general terms of skill.
Yeah, I would probably say diamond, yeah. I think that's fair.
Okay, carriers. So
well, that is just a move made of testicles.
It certainly is. Well put, Wiggin. So, yeah, Duckville evidently going ahead and single-handedly launching a campaign to keep that unit in the game, which I hope they do, because it's sort of, you know, a marquee unit for StarCraft in general. I really don't want to see that unit go.
Yeah, and I think Startail Squirtle just kind of woke up because he had quite a lot of money for a long time, very few units, and just suddenly has 15 gateways. So maybe we'll see some moves from him pretty soon. Maybe catch up on supply a little bit because Duckville's got quite the lead.
Yeah, of course, starting to get those bases mining now and adding behind additional Stargates. And, you know, I'm not sure how viable this build is, really, to be honest, but it looks really cool. I'm not going to lie. Like, adding in the carriers behind this is, you know, it's one of those things where the carrier actually is a great unit when you get enough of them. And the map control right now that the Phoenix are granting Duck is keeping our Korean player out of his face long enough so he can get this critical mass he needs. Archon's moving in now.
A little bit of Archon harassment, not something you see every day, but this game's sort of full of things you don't see every day. Oh wow, I never thought of feedbacking Phoenixes. I guess that would work really well.
Actually, they have no ability to lift those cotton balls known as Archons because, of course, they're massive. So, cannot lift Archons, cannot remove them from the field, which was a great decision from our Korean player.
Oh wow! Yeah, today I learned Archons and feedback counter to Phoenixes.
And looks like 4 carriers along with a host of zealots going to roll in here. And let's see how this works out for Duckville. As the Wu-Tang Killer Bees are on a swarm right now.
The Wu-Tang Killer Bees.
You can see
those carriers are actually doing so much damage to those Archons. Is he going to get one? He got one. But traded all those Archons down for that. I don't know if I feel too good if I'm I'm out of Protoss names, man. If I'm the Korean player.
Yeah, I've just gone with Korean player, just because. So, yeah, no, it's, you know, I've noticed that yeah, no is one of those caster things that just makes sense to people when you cast, and we're not going to question it. So, yeah, no. Duckville right now just adding on more and more carriers into this ridiculousness.
Well, he's definitely gone ahead and selected 2 units that once you get enough of, just keep adding them on, and people cannot keep up with you. Like, there's just about nothing in the game that is going to be built that's going to fight 6 carriers.
Yeah, you know, he let out with those 4, 2 more joined into that initial fight. Now he can just decimate these cannons and lay siege to this base, and that's going to force a reaction out of our Korean player here. He's going to have to respond to this, but I think that's where the Phoenix come in.
He did lose a number of those Phoenixes, not paying too much attention, but splitting up his forces by the Korean player, not the best decision.
But what else can he really do? I mean, you know, this is the problem with dealing with these carriers.
Wow, that carrier actually just lived with 1 life. Sorry to interrupt you, but
no,
that's
please.
Wild. Oh, get out of there, carrier! That carrier is like a banshee. It has 10 kills and got away with 1 life.
Yeah, I see that. Getting a promotion there. And, you know, we should be really much more excited about this build, but again, it's 3 a.m. and I'm excited on the inside right now, as I am definitely going to be trying this and probably making a lot of people in PvP upset. And the cool thing about this is just all those cannons down for defense make sense because they, you know, there's no way a Phoenix can deal with those, but a carrier, however, can.
Absolutely. And no GG out of our Korean player, man. Pretty bad-mannered.
Yeah, maybe a little BM there. Also, I'm not sure though, because sometimes on replay packs it actually cuts off before the GG comes out. But I'm going to assume there was no GG.
I think it's fair to assume that this player may have been a little bit salty about losing the mass carriers.
Sure. Well, it's like, how do you get mass carriers to work? You open Phoenix with, you know.
Sure. There was actually a 2-base carrier build that people were using in PvP months and months ago. But it was more like a 2-base timing attack that you would see just every once in a while as like a fun game in, Masters GM games. So maybe you can make this work. Maybe there's something to it, man.
We know that Duckville, of course, father of Protoss innovation in Australia, at least. And he's passionate about the game, man. I would love to see a Duckville build get out there, or at least a variant of it get out there into the mainstream. Not sure if this is it. I mean, I really, to be honest, I think there's a window here where a good Protoss will just abuse the fact. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's that, or go just Archon in response to the Phoenix much, much earlier, which would be harder to deal with. But I hope Duckville sticks with this build and refines it a little more, because it was ridiculously effective in this game.
Absolutely. I'd love to see a Duckville build on the Team Liquid strategy section.
That would be fantastic. So that's going to do it for us. I'm Tumba.
And I'm Wiggin.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next replay.